bacon in the oven here. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. 1 second, folks. There we go. Alright guys, welcome back to Rob's Arcade. I am your host as always, and of course, Rob French, hanging out with you today on Tuesday, doing a little bit, I guess, of a follow-up to yesterday's episode. Just because I don't really like where it kind of left, and I don't want you guys thinking like, oh man, what was all that, that drama about? Why was he so upset yesterday? What happened? After the video, I finally did hear from my dad. My mom finally did call me. She was just busy all day, I guess, with unloading the storage unit, clearing out the storage unit. And she finally gave me a call back and let me know that my dad is no longer in the hospital. That he's actually out yesterday, kind of, I guess, like, I hate to say and use this word, but it's kind of, I guess, like a halfway house for people who are really just don't have anywhere to go, I guess, which is really sad when I say that. It's, my dad, I was hoping wouldn't have to stay in the hospital as long as he did, and then I was actually hoping that once the holidays were kind of over, 4th of July weekend had kind of like, settled, and we'd gotten moved, that some of this would kind of move forward with the house. Although I hate to say, at this point, I don't think it's just a smart move to be buying a house, one that's that expensive, just with the house loan. It's just a little ridiculous, but I'll get into that a little bit later, I guess. But yeah, I just feel like at this point it'd be easy for them to try to find something to rent just to get him situated. I talked to him again this morning. He called to figure out, like, I guess, how to pay for his storage unit. Before I left, I had to get him a storage unit set up so he had somewhere to put his stuff while he's, like, trying to figure out where he's going to go. So he called me this morning to figure out how he's got to, pay for that. But, like, he doesn't even have coffee where he's at right now. Like, there's just, like, it's a minimal kind of situation. Doesn't sound like anyone there is really looking out for his best interest. So that's kind of sad in and of itself. But I did finally hear from him. I guess the whole thing wasn't so much that, like, he didn't want to talk, or he didn't want to reach out, but it was just kind of hard, I guess, for people to get in touch with him. He made it almost sound like it wasn't even, like, worth it. It's like, I mean, it just sounds like there was a couple of extensions you kind of had to go through, and a code, which I was kind of frustrated. Like I said yesterday, I never got a chance to even give him a call. And like I said, I don't know if he could call out, if he was talking to my sister or talking to anybody in the family. But like for 2 weeks, I just had no idea what was going on with the guy, and I think that was where the overall, like, frustration kind of fell in yesterday, and just not knowing what's going on. And then even, like, yesterday when I'm asking, like, well, how is dad doing, there's not a direct, like, well, it's this or it's that. It's always like, well, I'll talk to you later, or I'll talk to you later about it. And I don't know, now that I'm in the light, I'm kind of like, oh, gosh, I kind of wish I didn't know the whole situation, because like I said, I just don't like where it seems he's at right now. With this living situation, and some of the needs and some of the things he's got going on, I just feel like he'd be better off, I don't know, in an apartment somewhere, or staying with family somewhere. I'm really confused as to why, which has been brought up several times, and in discussions that we've had about it, but I just really don't understand why my sister can't offer to take him in for a little bit, even if it just means, like, I don't know, she probably doesn't have a lot of room. I'm pretty sure when she was, getting her place, that she wasn't really looking to buy a place to, like, house our parents as well. But I mean, gosh, I just feel like even if it's a couple of weeks, she's got to stay on the couch, and let him take the bed for like a week or two. It would just be a lot better than what he's got going on now. He can maybe get a breakfast and a decent cup of coffee in the morning as well. Um, he's like actually like asking me this morning. It's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, not much. Just kind of hanging out and drinking some coffee. He's like, oh man, that sounds good. As I take another sip now, I'm like, what? They don't have coffee at your place? And I'm like, no, no, he's like, they do. They only have like a couple of cups in that morning, and then it's like once it's gone, it's gone. And I'm like, wow, that just sounds like more of hell than a halfway house. But um, that's just as he put it this morning, it is what it is, and he's just gotta you know, deal with it, and hopefully all this will kind of work out. But I think he's too at the point where he'd just rather, let's take that money and just, flat out either just buy a smaller house. Maybe it doesn't have to be as big and as extravagant as the one that they were looking at, and just, flat out buy one. Or, just go ahead and find something to rent. It can't be that hard. I mean, gosh, I've been, walking our dog around this complex the last few days, and it's like people are moving in and out left and right. Like every day, there's just two moving trucks in the parking lot this morning. So uh, I don't know. I just feel like if um, my wife could find a place, 3 states away that my uncle Mel and my dad and my mom can find an apartment to rent together. I think my Uncle Mel right now is staying with my aunt and uncle Tom and Maria, which I'd be kind of interested to see how that's all going. I feel like every sibling on my mom's side of the family is kind of particular in their own way. Not to say that even me and my sister aren't particular in our own ways. Um, but it's just I find it very interesting whenever I hear like, oh yeah, Brian's staying with Karen, or Karen's living with Maria, or this person. It's just always like I'm like, ooh, I wonder how that's really. I'm like, how does that work out? So I'm actually kind of interested to see how we'll be when my mom, my dad, and Mel live together as well. Although I feel like that'll be really good for my dad. I feel like my dad needs um, some company and some people his own age and in his peer group. Always felt like that was something too, like living in living together with my dad in Richmond and everything. Um, just like I couldn't, relate. Like, I talked to a lot of older people and elderly people when I worked at Vinny's, but that's always just kind of like shooting the shit, if you will, and just kind of like, BSing back and forth. And, you want to have like decent, real conversations with your dad, and it was kind of hard to always relate and, sometimes even understand, what he was just trying to say. And I think it's just a generational thing. It's not necessarily like I'm dumb or he's dumb or we just don't get each other or whatever. But um, I think at some point it's like conversations with Gary Ann and myself are fine, but I think at the end of the day, really, he's going to thrive more with conversations with like Mel, another guy his age, sharing stories and experiences that they can both like relate to, and perhaps even venture out together, sharing similar interests. Like there's just my dad's not going to want to venture out on a Wednesday and hit the comic shop. It's like he can't really see. Um, but maybe something like just as peaceful as going down to the river with Mel and just kind of walking around with him and taking a little stroll down the park would be something that would really benefit him. And that's not really my thing. Like I'm not one of those guys who spends a lot of time walking around the river and hiking and doing these different things. But like I said, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, he'll really benefit more from people his own age and doing things with his own peer group. And a lot of times, again, like I'll make conversations and have discussions with these elderly people and stuff at work, but they're also hanging out with, again, their friends and their brother and different things like that, and getting pizza. Um, like I said, spending time with people that they can share experiences and or have shared experiences or similar experiences with. So, but yeah, it's just I know it's tough. Like I know my mom's doing her best, and I get frustrated myself. I know she's got a lot going on, and it's not easy. Um, she's doing a lot of the brunt work herself, but I just really wish, kind of like I said, at this point, it's just so it sucks because I know, like with my wife, when she was looking to get a house, they look at everything. I remember they saw my dad actually gave us some money when he first moved in. I think just to kind of help out with some bills and just different things like that, and moving expenses and stuff. And they were looking at that. It was like, what is this for? And it was just a gift. It was just like a gift before we moved, and just like trying to help us out. And it made it difficult to close because like they're looking at this and they want to like examine like then his bank records, and like, well, if you've got this amount of money moving in, what's to say you don't have even more money moving out? Like they just hate to see money moving in and out, fluctuating like that. And my mom and dad have had a lot of that lately. They've had a lot of money coming into their accounts, and they've had a lot of money coming out. My mom's bought my uncle Mel a car here recently, as well as like putting down money on this house. Um, and then my dad's like giving her money. And it's like I said, as the banks look at money coming in and coming out and all these different things, it's sad, but red flags start to go up, and it's not necessarily a question of like, well, I've got like $250,000 in my bank, and they're like, well, 100 of that money just came in, and you just spent $80,000 a couple of months ago on this, and da 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 da. And they're just like, you know, it's like, well, what does it matter? It's like the money's in there, and it's like they don't care if the money's in there or not. Like that's not what they look at. They look at how the money moves, and how it's changing hands and all that, and how often. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating, especially like I said, they're all retired. They don't have any income coming in, and so that's another downside too. It's like if you don't have any income coming in, let me go ahead and check this bacon real quick. They're not gonna. To them, that's a risk. That's what they would call a risk. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it looks good. Always cook my bacon in the oven. Probably like, what? Cook your bacon in the oven? See, alright, let's head back over here. So maybe drink some green juice.
Don't say it.
But yeah, there's that saying. I don't know if you've ever heard. It's like it's not really a saying, I guess, but it's more like an observation where you cook bacon. Yeah. You cook bacon, but you bake cookies. It's like one of those play on words, like there's a bunch of them, Why do you park in a driveway and drive on a parkway? If 7-Elevens are open 24 hours, how come there's locks on the door? My favorite is, why do they call them apartments if they're all stuck together? And then, of course, why do you cook bacon and bake cookies? So I decided one day, you know what? I'm actually going to bake my bacon. I'm going to see what happens when I bake my bacon. And it's actually one of the best ways. I feel like you can have bacon, put down some parchment paper on a baking sheet, lay a couple of strips of bacon in there, put it on 350, cook for about 10 minutes or so. And then, why is this open? That's weird. Yeah, cook for about 10 minutes or so, and yeah, flip it another 10 or so, and it's nice and crispy. It's perfect. It's like the best way to cook your bacon. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to kind of hang out and kind of catch you guys up and let you know everything is it's I feel better now that I know what's like us going on, even though it's got me a little concerned. I do feel better, and I know it's one of those things where it's not necessarily like a conscientious decision to kind of keep me out of the loop. Things get busy, people get busy, things get crazy. Um, so I know it's not like I said, it's done purposely. Um, but yeah, like I said, just at the end of the day, you get frustrated, just not knowing what's going on, especially when it comes to like family and your dad. And that was one of the things, which I wasn't happy with the way things were. Um, I mentioned that yesterday, and it's true. Like we didn't really get like a thank you. There wasn't like a really good goodbye. My sister was there. She never even said goodbye to me. Didn't like give me a hug. Um, really didn't say two words, literally. Like I think she said hi was what I got from her when I said good morning to her. Um, very cheerfully, So it just wasn't a very good goodbye. I don't like how things were left. And I'm sure there was like uh, some frustration too on my dad's end because it's like he doesn't really know where am I going, what's going on. It's like um, he wasn't being thrown out by any means. He had plenty of time to make plans, but when it's all said and done, he was leaving with really no idea where he was going or what he was doing. And even though that is his own choice and his own fault, it's still it's scary. Um, but yeah, I just was not happy just overall with how things were left, and um, it's even though, like I said, they we could have left, I guess, not necessarily on better terms, but with a better goodbye. Still like worried. I'm like, what's he gonna do when the hospital stay runs out? Because I know you only got so much time, in the hospital before they're like, okay, well, Mr. Armstrong, you're fine. You gotta go now. Um, so it's like there's always a concern. As soon as I left, like, and like calling and texting him. Of course, I didn't know they had taken his phone. They take his cell phone away when you kind of like, I guess, commit yourself, and then you don't really have a way of getting in touch with him. Like I said, I don't think my mom necessarily forgot just to give me the information, or like, I know she's busy and things. Um, it's easy to slip her mind. Like one of the things probably got him was like, oh, I thought I did. I swore I thought I did. Um, and I'm not the best either at like following up on like, hey, give me that information. I need it. Um, but yeah, it's just you want ththings to work out for him, and then in the back of your head you're wondering like, okay, well things didn't you know like I said, we don't really leave on the best terms. It's like, oh gosh, I hope he's not like mad at me. It's like I said, and I know he wasn't excited the way things were when we left, but it was like it's not really that was our fault, and so you hope there's not like hard feelings and like a grudge held towards you. But like I said, if you're not getting any information, you really don't know. And then I think that's what happens to a lot of people. Your mind kind of goes to the worst and things. And I was just telling my wife the other day, it's like, oh, honey, it's like don't let your mind go right away to the worst possible thing. Like, don't let your mind just take you right there to the worst outcome. But it's like I did the same exact thing. Just yesterday, I was telling her, um, or the day before, not to do it, and here I am yesterday, like letting myself do the exact same thing. So, but I think that's part of like human nature. If like you don't really know what's going on, and you're kind of like I said, you're left out of the loop, and you think about like, okay, well, this is how things were when we last saw each other. I hope things haven't gotten to a place where they're worse now. So, but it doesn't seem that way. Like I said, it seems like everything is okay. I don't like I said some of the words like this, committing yourself, halfway house. These are not terms I want to associate with my dad, who's not in the best health. Uh, he's like, if you've been listening to some of these, I think I've mentioned, he's like he's losing his sight. They don't think a lot of the surgeries and procedures that are kind of done for this type of thing will really help him in the long run. So it's like, if he's dealing with all this stuff, dealing with cancer, dealing with going blind, he can't even get a freaking cup of coffee in the morning. It's just like, I don't really dig that. But like I said, man, effing family, effing family. I just wish, like I said, my sister would take more of you know, at least it's to me it blows my mind. It's like, you know, my wife was, you know, quicker to take my father in than I feel like my own sister is. So I don't know. And it's I'd understand it'd be, you know, inconvenient. Even with all the space in the room we had, there were times where it was extremely, you know, even inconvenient for us. But you know, you just kind of do what you have to do, and you know, the most important part is, you know, is making sure like, you know, he's comfortable. I even remember, well, there was a time where he moved in. Like I said, I don't feel like he was really happy. Like I said, there's just no exchange and no interaction with anybody like his own age or anything like that. And I felt like he was thinking maybe he was being a burden on us at some point as well. Maybe I'm not really sure what happened, but there was a moment during the summer where he was like, "All right, you know, I'm gonna head back. You know, I just want to get out of here for a little while and you know, blah 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 blah." And it wasn't very long before it was like, "This isn't working. I need to get back and you know, stay with you guys again because just living at the river by himself, he couldn't do it." Um, And there were times even in those couple of weeks where I would wake up in the morning and think like, man, you know, is he okay? Like, is he like I'm you know cooking breakfast for my wife and I, wondering like, all right, is he able to make his breakfast okay? Is that you know something that's like, is he you know just driving to McDonald's every morning or to the gas station and just getting a biscuit? Like you know, so even when he moved out and moved back to the cabin for a bit, the little lake house for a little bit, river house, whatever it is. It's named like three different location scenarios for horror movies: the lake house, the cabin, house on the river. Um, but yeah, even then that worried me. So like I said, you know, I definitely have concerns and kind of wake up like a lot of times in the morning, like, ooh, whew, man, what you know, I hope he's okay. And hadn't really heard from him, and you know, but he called me this morning. You know, he's got his phone back. Um, sounds like he's you know doing the best that he can. Um, so yeah, there we go. That's where we are now. Don't really know what else I got in store for today. Figure I get some stuff hung up on the walls. We got some stuff unboxed the other day. And got to find some place to start hanging up some like Veda's leash and all that stuff, and probably take her for a nice little walk here. It's so beautiful. It's like really, it's hard. Like I got up this morning, you know, and it's really even after going to bed pretty early. Oh, we had a wicked thunderstorm uh, this morning. Got us up kind of early, like 5 o'clock in the morning or something crazy. I mean, it was thundering and lightning so hard. I mean, it was like booming thunder and then like flashes of lightning so bright they would like you know light up the entire room. It was like something out of a movie. It was absolutely insane. Um, and we got a nice little heavy rainstorm right after that. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like it's so hard. I woke up this morning. It's like 7:30 or so, and 8 o'clock, and you know you kind of like want to lay around for a little bit. And you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna take the dog out. You know, let's get the dog out. She's been on a medicine that's really wreaking havoc on her bladder. It's like she's got to go more frequently, and um, seems like she like pees like a trucker when she goes. Um, but it's really hard to always say like, all right, I'll take her out for a walk, and maybe I'll get a cup of coffee, but I'm gonna get back into bed. You know, I'm going back to bed. But then you get outside, you start walking around, and it's so nice. There's like cool little lizards everywhere, and these crazy birds that just are just amazing to look at. Um, you really start to see that similarity that Dr. Alan Grant was talking about between birds and dinosaurs when you start to look at some of the wildlife that's here in Florida. Um, but you just got like all these exotic birds and all this beautiful stuff going on, and the sun's out, and you know, you got the ducks in the water. And by the time you get back in from a walk, you're like, all right, yeah, let's get this cup of coffee and let's get up, get some writing done, you know, make some bacon. Let's go ahead and check on that real quick, actually, see how that's looking. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and just cut this guy off real quick. Here we go. Oh, perfect. And look at that. R4 telling us it's time to wrap things up. Well, yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this little special Tuesday show. I don't know that I'll do a Tuesday show every Tuesday, but this was fun. Like I said, kind of got into some stuff yesterday at the end of the show, and I just kind of wanted to get back with you guys and let you know everything's cool and I feel better. Got some delicious bacon waiting on me, and tomorrow I will be back hanging out with you guys, of course. We'll be doing the midweek breakdown, grabbing some comics. I was going to hit Emerald City Comics with my uh, wife's cousin, but she's got some hair appointments she had to reschedule. So it looks like I'll be hanging out by myself, but I might actually hit her shop. She's going in at 2. Her shop that I think her boyfriend works at. And so I'll probably hit that guy around 2 o'clock. So look forward to hopefully some footage from that. And I'm actually right now, I'm see if this will load real quick. I'm gonna see if I actually can. Let's see if I can see if I've actually been to Yancey Street. Real quick. I'm wondering if that's where I got my Spawn comics from. So I went to a great comic shop, though the time I came down with my wife for our wedding. It's not letting me look. Where is it? Oh man. And I'm trying to see, because I will make a post about different comics, and I don't see it. Oh well. Yeah, I feel like that's the comic shop I went to get Emerald City Comics to get my Spawn 300. I'm almost positive that's where I went. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to go there tomorrow. I'll probably just hit up the comic book club and then check out Yancey Street where Courtney and her boyfriend work, and share some cool books with you guys. Alright, well guys, anyway, I guess I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I guess I do want to again thank you guys for hanging out and listening to me. You're always so awesome, always so nice to me. Oh wait, here we go. Nope, that's not it. Oh, it should be right in here. Here we go. Boom. Had to travel all the way to Tampa, Florida. Coliseum of Comics is where I went. That's where I went. Alright, cool. Well, there we go. I knew I'd have it documented somewhere. So no, I have not been to Emerald City. So we will do that soon. Not tomorrow, but look for that soon. Check out Yancey Street and Comic Book Club tomorrow, and come back tomorrow to check me out. And yeah, guys, as always, like I said, like, subscribe, share, comment down below. And until next time, please don't spend your quarter anywhere else, guys. Later.